Hello everyone, in this video we're going to draw a jaguar. First we'll draw a few simple shapes for a bit of structure, then add the final drawing on top using easy line work, and then add some shading for the final result. I'll add a link for the materials used in the description below. Also, please leave a like and subscribe. Let's jump in. Start by drawing a circle as a guide for the head. And an easy way to draw a circle is to first make a couple of small marks to indicate the circle's height, and then on the sides make a couple more small marks to indicate the circle's width. And then just connect the small marks using curved lines to finish the shape of the circle. And sketch lightly at first so that it's easy to erase if you make a mistake. Also pause the video as you follow along to draw at your own pace. And you don't have to draw a perfect circle, but if you're having trouble drawing one, it's okay to trace the outer edge of a cup or a bowl or anything else with a circular edge. Now let's draw a long sloping line across the circle for a construction guide. And the bottom part of this line should be outside of the circle. And the tilt of this line will indicate the tilt of the head. And now on the left side, make a small mark, and this will indicate the front part of the muzzle, and then extend the mark to create a longer sloping line. And pay attention to how long this line is. It's quite long. And then connect the line to the circle using a couple more sloping lines to finish the guide for the muzzle. So this shape should be similar to a big rectangle. And on the top right side, draw a big arc as a guide for the ear. And this arc should be pretty big in relation to the head. And now draw a couple of short lines to indicate a bit of the neck, but don't overlap the ear as you draw these lines, and a short line at the bottom for the bottom edge of the neck. And at the top, draw a smaller arc for the ear that's on the other side of the head. And that's it for the guidelines. Now let's start on the final drawing. Inside the head, lightly sketch a small circle for the eye. And place the eye close to the top edge of the muzzle. But not too close, it's sort of in the middle of the top edge of the muzzle and the construction guide. And when you get the shape right, add a couple of sloping lines for the outer edges of the eye. And these lines should be somewhat similar to a greater than sign. And then darken the left edge of the initial circle for the eyeball. And inside the shape, draw a small oval and shade it in for the pupil. And on the side, draw a tiny circle to represent a highlight. And now draw a couple of sloping lines on the bottom left side to create the corner of the eye. And at the top, draw a long curved line for the brow. And this is going to be a stylized version of a jaguar, so we're going to exaggerate the shapes a bit. And now extend the lines to create a bit of the black area around the eye. And a couple more curved lines at the bottom for the separation of the colors on the fur. And inside the muzzle, at the top, draw a couple of sloping lines to indicate where the nose will be. And this shape should be similar to a small triangle. And when you get the position of the triangle right, darken the shape to create the nose. And use a couple of wavy lines at the top and a couple of wavy lines at the bottom. And make the front of the nose curved, more curved than the initial guidelines. And inside, draw a long curved shape for the nostril. Now below the nose, draw a long line that curves to the right to create the top part of the open mouth. And extend the line so that it's inside the circle for the head. And add another curved line at the top for the other side of the front part of the muzzle. Now draw a wavy line for the top part of the gums. And the mouth will be slightly open, so that's why you can see the top edge of the gums. And then below that, draw another wavy line for the bottom edge of the gums. And at the very bottom, draw a long curved shape for the chin. And follow the basic path of the guides as you draw this line. You can use a couple of short strokes as you darken the chin to create a furry texture. And inside, draw a couple of curved lines for the visible part of the lower canines. So that would be one canine, and then draw another short curved line for the visible section of the other canine. And at the top, draw a curved line for the top part of the muzzle. Draw this line along the path of the guide. Now draw the ear along the path of the arc at the top. So darken the shape of the arc and make the shape a little wider for the big ear. And inside the arc, draw a couple more curved lines for the ear's opening. And also add a few short strokes and angled lines to represent the fur that's inside the ear. And now darken the outer edges of the initial guides to create the overall shape of the head. And curve this line on the left side to create the brow that's on the other side of the head. Draw a long curved line under the ear to emphasize the strong jaw. And darken the small arc at the top for the ear that's on the other side of the head. And if you've made it this far, please leave a like and subscribe. It really helps out the channel. Now erase the guidelines for a cleaner drawing. And you don't have to erase all of the guidelines, it's okay if you leave some behind. And now pick up some of the graphite using a kneaded eraser to lighten the drawing. Now go over the final lines using a charcoal pencil. And you can use a regular graphite pencil like I've done in past videos, but I want this Jaguar drawing to be a bit more bold, so I will be using charcoal. And this is a 2B pencil, but I will also be using a 4B pencil for dark values and an HB pencil for lighter values. Now add the distinctive spots across the head. Make the spots small on the front part of the head and then gradually make them bigger toward the back. And make the spots circular, but don't draw them as perfect circles. Draw them as irregular circular shapes. Don't add any spots to the top part of the muzzle. Add rows of dots to the right of the nose for the bases of the whiskers. Add a dark value to the area around the mouth. And leave a few thin sections blank to create a few highlights on the gums. Shade the nose using a lighter value. Shade the top part of the head using a very light value. Push down very lightly on your pencil to create the light value. Keep shading until you're happy with the result, and that's it for the Jaguar. Remember to pause the video to draw at your own pace. Also, please visit howtodrawanimals.com for more tutorials. That's how, and then the number 2, then drawanimals.com. If you'd like to support my channel, please consider buying my books on Amazon. I'll leave a link in the description below. Don't forget to leave a comment, to like the video, and to subscribe. Thank you for watching, and until next time, keep drawing.